So Gary, what do you do as a career and what is your business?
So we're a construction company. We have a broad spectrum of works in what we do. We do design and build for clients directly. We also do our own development, which can range from residential to commercial across the board. So there is not one shoe fits all. We basically approach it on the basis of whatever site we see. We'll bespoke design any house to fit that specific site.
Brilliant. And what makes IDH stand out?
So I think it's a flexibility. The flexibility we have with clients to basically give them the home of their dreams. So we basically essentially take them through the whole process, every step of the way, and being as flexible to any change. Obviously the less change the better, so we'll try and catch them at the very start. But as any construction, there will be change all the way through, mainly driven by the client's end. But yeah, we basically approach that the way we would approach it on any of our own developments, and it has to be right from the word go. So if that means changing it as many times as it needs to be changed, then that's what we'll do.
But you're just doing whatever you can just to make sure the client's happy and they get the end result that they want.
Yeah, so basically we're giving them the flexibility to be able to build their dream property or extend or alter or renovate. But basically we're putting all the onus on them to let them design the property they want, but with our expertise.
Brilliant. So Gary, what's your favourite part about your business?
Lots of it, to be perfect. I don't think there's one particular part. It's probably the relationships that we build with the clients as we move forward, but probably predominantly it's a job satisfaction. It's being able to stand back from something you've created, normally from nothing, or for something that is actually nothing like what was there before. So being able to have this sort of job satisfaction in the respect that you can stand back and then admire basically what you've done, and obviously get that with the client's approval.
One thing that makes IDH stand out a lot is we have 100% customer satisfaction rate. Can you talk a bit about that?
So we have clients, we've been going now for 11 years. So we basically have approachable clients right from the off. So for every client that we've ever done work for, you can get a reference from. And that is purely because our communication is next to none. So we work with the client all the way through from start to finish, but we're also updating the clients on any change throughout the build. So they're basically informed all the way through, and what that does is that gives them confidence that everything is being looked after as it should be.
Yeah. Amazing. So that's those really great relationships you talked about you like building.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
I remember a funny story. It was about a mouse mat. Do you want to talk us through what happened there with one of the clients?
Yeah. So basically, we done a property about 12 months ago. It took a little bit longer to get through warrant just due to the current circumstances with the local authorities in that area. Eventually got it through, and then we were through the build. It was passing through Christmas time. And the partner, so the wife of the husband, had basically said to us, we've got a present we'd like you to see. We wanted to show you it prior to us handing it over, just so you can see what it was, because you'll probably not see it again. But basically what it was, you get the cups that says, don't stress, you're a Man United fan or whatever it may be. Yeah. This mouse mat had said, don't stress, trust Gary. So these type of things are the type of relationships we build all the way through. So that's not just from one client, that's from all the clients. So every client we've ever worked for, we're on great terms with. It's almost like a friendship that we create off the back of every contract.
And that's definitely shown through the fact that somebody had a mouse mat created saying, don't stress, call Gary. That's credit to you, so well done.
Yeah, and it's good, and that's the sort of ethos that we have with all our clients.
Amazing. So, by working with Fairbros, what's the most positive outcome you've seen within your business?
I'd probably say to date it's been structure. I think for the position we're in just now, we need that structure to basically just grow. So it's something we're having to implement just now. Having that structure in place now will avoid any mistakes going forward. So if we do it just now, we're in a good place for when we do expand and then grow.
What is it that motivated you to join forces with Fairbros, and what was the pain point that you wanted to overcome?
I think it's probably going to be the structure. So structure's been key for me. Up until now I've been at the forefront of everything we do. So that would be from admin, from buying to surveying, from actually on the ground making the sites work. We're actually at a stage now where I am no longer to be able to do all these commitments, so I'm having to then create procedure manuals and structures to basically enable myself to hand over tasks to people that are scripted, so that I know they're still going to give the same level that IDH demand, but they're basically going to almost effectively be able to pick it up or look at a manual in terms of being able to carry out these tasks as I would be able to. So,
and how has Fairbros helped you achieve that?
From creating lots of different templates and structures, things that we can hand out to the guys. They've also came onto site to speak to the guys to get a bit of backgrounding on what we're doing. We've also had Fairbros look at mental health issues, just trying to give guys a little bit more guidance that are feeling maybe a little bit subdued, not necessarily anything work related, but just as a general sort of G-up for the guys to feel good about life in general.
Brilliant, amazing. I think part of that as well, with your structure and your helping manage the guys, there was a new weekly meeting system that was implemented. Do you want to talk us through what you've done with that?
So basically what we've done here is we've tried to implement it's a weekly meeting with the guys, just to pass over information based on a 2 weekly advancement. So one being the current week and one being the week ahead. Because we're in construction, it moves and changes fairly rapidly. Programming anything beyond 2 weeks is pretty tough, out with having a master program which will tell you the duration of the contract. But for the finer details and general tasks for the guys doing their day to day, I think 2 weeks is probably a good indication of time on where we need to be. So we've basically created that program. There's different charts, different indicators within that, and what that is now doing is that's letting the guys basically understand their responsibilities too.
Cool.
So we're passing a little bit more responsibility onto these guys to inform us on things that can just help the company move forward.
And how are they finding that little added bit of responsibility?
They're actually enjoying it. It's giving them probably a little bit more worth on what they're feeling that they're doing. They're being included on a probably a bigger umbrella. So they're getting involved a little bit more with the business and being involved in the bigger picture. Rather than just being drip fed information all the time, they're actually getting a little bit more of a bigger picture on what the company's trying to do, what we're trying to achieve, and the steps we're following to try and make that possible.
Brilliant, so they're just feeling more like a viable member of the team now?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Amazing. Now you've learnt more about structure and management, what's the next step for moving forward?
I think it's probably just creating more structures. So we've not actually managed to completely dissect all my tasks, but we have made starts into it. So probably going forward from here is going to be creating more of the structures that we've already created in some of the sectors, and then just taking them across the business. So all the different sectors, from financials to buy-in to actually on-site construction, like we've done with the weekly meetings, reviewing every 2 weeks. So I think it would be just doing it a little bit more in depth across the company, making things more achievable for us.
So taking you from doing 19 jobs to just the one that you enjoy?
Pretty much, yeah. And it's going to allow me to do that and still enjoy being part of the company. So basically what I'm meaning by that is freeing up more of my time to specialise in the tasks that I feel that benefit the company more. So there's a lot of things in the day-to-day that I seem to be getting involved in that I necessarily don't really need to be involved in. I can just take that segment out and pass it on accordingly to the correct person.
So it's just spending more time working on your business rather than in it?
Correct, yeah.
If you could give one piece of advice to the people listening to this, what would that piece of advice be?
I think, and I've probably touched on 2 or 3 times already, is structure. I think it can be quite easy to get lost in your company. And what I mean by that is sort of manually undertaking all the tasks, just because it's easier at that time. But there'll become a time when that's just not viable. So the earlier that you can implement them, I think the better, not only for you, but also for the business.
Amazing. That's great. Thank you very much.
Cool. You're welcome.